very, very much, gentlemen, and welcome to the Casters Desk. Of course, it is on set, and the legend himself will be starting off. And we're starting off here, OpTic Gaming and Evil Geniuses, and we're starting off with Frosty.
Yeah, we're going to get those names switched around here, but this is actually Mr. Royal 2 on your screen, and he is such a dangerous player. I think probably the best player to ever come out of Canada at this point. We've had a few top-notch players coming out of Canada before, but Royal 2, as we've heard them talking on the desk, back-to-back world champs. He has countless tournament wins under his belt and countless top threes as well. I mean, he was competing and at the top of the scene even as early as Halo 3.
Well, he's doing some work here at the start of this game. As you can see, it seems at the moment Pit has got in control of OpTic Gaming early on. It looks like they're trying to collapse on that red base, and it is going to be OpTic Gaming who are scoring at the start of this match. Still on Royal 2 at the moment. He's just pushing outside here, just looking to pick up any potential kills of anyone walking past Falcate. He's going to be taken down to low shields here in the turbine, but in the kill feed, Roy doing a little bit of work lining up with that DMR.
Yeah, Roy getting that double kill to DMR, but we notice how patient Royal 2 is. That entire time, he could have just pushed into blue base, tried to get that stronghold, but instead, he's just sitting outside, letting members of Evil Geniuses make mistakes and give up deaths. Even though EG had a trip cap for a moment, we haven't seen Royal 2 die, and that's something that some players might either consider a mistake, or it just goes to show how much OpTic Gaming values never having all four down.
Well, he is still alive, and he is on a bit of a spree at the moment, but look at the kill feed once again.
Yeah.
He seems to be picking up kill after kill, and it's actually Evil Geniuses who do have a 10-point lead at the start of this game. Not too much to get worried about at the moment at this point for OpTic Gaming, especially with Royal 2 on this spree. Still alive outside at the moment.
Yeah, this is mind-blowing to me. All right, so every once in a while you see a player just kind of sit back as, you know, the opposing team's capturing a flag or getting a stronghold under control. But I've never seen someone stay alive that long. So we're going to switch on over to the man who we've seen in the kill feed a lot. This is Roy, who is going towards the pit right now, trying to keep this trip cap. And look at Evil Jesus. All the casters, all the analysts right now predicted this to be a sweep for the OpTic Gaming crew, but looks like Evil Jesus has something to say about this. We're going to kick on with one of the newest members. This is Nated. We're going to jump on as we watch his teammate grab that overshield.
The overshield has been picked up, as you say. Look at this score right now, 40-5 for Evil Geniuses. They are playing this one so well. We did mention Roy doing a lot of work in the kill feed, but it seems like every single player at the moment on Evil Geniuses is just working so well together. It was one of the questions that we asked before this game actually started, before this match started. With the limited time these players have had together, how are they going to work together?
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of having a player like Nate on your team. I feel like a Native old, someone like Halo, when he used to be in Halo 2, he might have been a questionable pickup because he's a strong slayer, but I felt like he didn't know the objective nearly as well. But look at Roy just hitting shots. He came out to play today. That is a 5-shot on Snakebite. And as we were talking about Native before, though, he is just such a strong player in every game he plays right now. He just knows how to run the objective. He has such incredible high individual skill. But that is 3 down for Evil Geniuses. I believe the only one, that's all 4 down for a moment for EG. So we will kick it off with back to Royal 2 for one moment. See what he's doing. He obviously prefers his outside ledge, though. This is interesting. He's just continually rotating from turbine to turbine and helping control pit and blue.
But look at this again, Roy with 2 kills once again. Even though Evil Geniuses found themselves 4 dead, they managed to get OpTic Gaming 3 dead now, and Lethal now trying his best to defend that pit. But look at this, off the back of the 4 dead, Evil Geniuses still managed to get out of that spawn, and now they have control of one of their side bases and that pit. Once again, it looks like both of the side bases could be transitioned here as Lethal is trying to put shots on Lunchbox, but the team fire coming in, backing him back down into tower, Dave. Evil Geniuses just seem to be rolling at this point.
And look at that, 3 members of OpTic Gaming down. I saw that in the kill feed. What is Lethal going to do in this situation? He tries to mitigate his losses. Instead, he rotates over towards red, but he is cut off by Lunchbox, gets the reversal, takes down his former teammate. We're going to see what Snakebite can do to capitalize on that situation.
Oh, Royal 2 kills up that kill there that Snakebite did actually start. The overshield has just popped, so you can see Snakebite challenging 2 players here from Evil Geniuses. Looks like he does have a teammate in support here to try and help him. Looks like Falcate's going to go for that burn and does get that burn, but this could potentially be a 3 dead here as Royal 2 cleans that one up. Looks like OpTic Gaming have an opportunity here to recapture that pit, but there is one more player, but no, that player is going to be taken down by Lethal. OpTic Gaming now looking for that triple cap.
Yeah, OpTic Gaming not content with just pit and red. They want to get blue base as well. That all started off with EG panicking a little bit. They seemed to commit a bit too many members over towards that overshield side. You notice how patient the members of OpTic were. You saw how Snakebite, even though he had full shield, he didn't go sprinting towards that overshield. He waited for a member of EG to charge out and get the burn. So that way he didn't risk, he wasn't in a situation where he was down in numbers, so he didn't feel like he had to get the burn. So great job by Snakebite and the OpTic Gaming crew in order to turn that from a situation which could have been scary from EG getting overshield to them getting 3 down and control the map.
Well, OpTic Gaming did manage to claw their way back into this game, but once again, Evil Geniuses managed to get that pit, and it's something that's very rare to see from OpTic Gaming. The amount of times they've given up that pit control almost too easily to Evil Geniuses. 73-40 the score at the moment. It is EG who is scoring, and this is actually Roy we're on board with right now. He is once again just doing so much work with that pistol. Can he finish this kill? He can. Another player's going to be in the pit, but it's going to be Frosty with the beautiful shots, but Naded comes in to clean that one up. OpTic Gaming dedicating so many resources once again, Dave, just to try and get that pit once.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to EG in these situations for doing such a good job controlling that. Falcated on your screen, and we're going to see what he can do outside. I am getting some loud game sound in my headset at the moment, so we are back in the action just like these players.
Yeah, we are fully immersed right now. It's Falcated picking up some nice shots there to clean up that kill on Frosty. It is going to be OpTic Gaming who do have control on once again. Into that triple cap, Roy manages to work with a teammate there, playing Snake out. Coming in. OpTic Gaming, those people coming back to the Dave. Never count these guys out.
Absolutely not, especially when they're only 20 points behind. The one thing that's been keeping EG in the lead is they've never really given up a trip cap as of yet. They've always done a good job. Anytime their team members going down, they seem to hold on to one bases. Falcated, taking down Frosty, going after the overshield player who is Snakebite. Taken down though, we will jump on with his teammate who is Lunchbox. Back in security, taken out by a barrel. Let's see, that is 3 members down. Make that almost all 4 members down for OpTic, or Evil Geniuses. And we will jump on with a member of OpTic. Let's see what Lethal is up to over at the blue turbine.
Evil Geniuses do have a lead on this triple cap. Nice spawn rotation. That's going to be 3 there for Evil Geniuses. And look at OpTic Gaming right now. They seem to be swarming back. It looks like just like this day, OpTic Gaming could find themselves in a point.
Yeah, and with their first trip cap, they capitalized on that instantly. Just a minute ago, we were talking about how it's 56-76, and OpTic Gaming, that trip cap, pulling ahead in the lead. That's got to be tough if you're an EG fan. Seeing you in the lead for the good 75% of the match, and at the very end, when it counts most, starting to give that up. There's another trip cap for OpTic Gaming.
From OpTic Gaming, as you say, Dave. Another triple cap coming in momentarily. EG managed to get control. Why do they can push the turbine here? Denying anyone that can play from OpTic Gaming can push the turbine at the moment. They do manage to get that hit. The OpTic, that was a little bit of a...
Enemies capturing stronghold.
But they do get the triple cap and they're just 6 points away from...
Not gonna lie, I was about to criticize Evil Geniuses for that play. I was about to say they're just getting desperate. They are in a tough situation, just dive and hit, but it looks like it paid off. They're still able to take out those members of OpTic. We will jump back on board with Falcated, who is now not in the lead, but they now have a trip cap, only 6 points behind OpTic Gaming.
Evil Geniuses, are you going to do this? Are you going to take the first game off of the World Champions OpTic Gaming? They are just 8 points away. The clock is ticking down. It's a player from the field. Lit up by this player here. Isn't finished. Another player going to be there. 2 players, 2 that overshield. It's going to be all on the table to try and stop this pit. Is he going to be able to manage to do it? I'm not. Lunchbox is in there, and he manages to pick up a huge double kill, and it is Evil Geniuses who are going to take game number 1 of the day off of OpTic Gaming.
We are right next to a theme park, but there's also a roller coaster ride going on here at this match, because that was ridiculous by Evil Geniuses. I thought for sure as soon as OpTic started to get back in that match, I thought, once OpTic gets control of the game, they bring it back.
Roy, 23-13. He was one of those players we thought, new settings, no ARs, pistol, something, that name pops in your head every time. It's like, yeah. Roy is back. The amount of times that we've discussed who has the best shot in Halo, Roy always comes, always out on that in that list. And 23-13, I mean, I know it's game 1, but that's a scary stat to put up first game.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that Roy was, without a doubt, the best BR shot in Halo 3. And even though this is a couple games later, you don't just lose that. You don't go from being the best shot to he can't shoot well anymore. Like,
yeah.
I could tell even when we were watching from Royal 2's POV, you just saw Roy in the kill feed, Roy in the kill feed, just so many times, like double kills, and it was absolutely amazing.
Well, we're actually going to bring up the stats here on Observe Mode so that you can have a look at them at home. Some of his other teammates doing a great job as well. We see big 16 assists coming in from Lunchbox. On the other side, pretty even across the board, but it was all about that last-minute contest from Lunchbox in that last game. We thought that OpTic were just about going to manage it. We saw Nader get taken out with the overshield, and just the last-second Lunchbox.
Here's the thing, yeah, great job by Lunchbox, but their whole team was on the exact same page. You saw how Evil Geniuses, even Falcated, knew that there was someone weak out front in front of like red area, so he pushed out there, gets the kill, gets some trade shots. Their whole team was piling in towards pit, doing damage towards pit. It wasn't just like a single man effort, but that was Lunchbox reaping the benefits from his teammates prior, pushing in and doing all the damage. So great job by EG all around. They did such an incredible job, giving up very few trip caps, especially the times where OpTic got trip caps for what, maybe 10 seconds of the game total. Yep. And on top of that, just getting control of pit. There were so many times where I was like, oh, OpTic's in the perfect position. You saw someone like Frosty over on those little rafters above pit, yet they were still able to get those kills and get control of it.
And one huge indicator of it, we mentioned right at the start of that game one there, how is this EG team going to work together? How is their, the communication, the team shot going to be? We saw there the statistics, the amount of assists that Evil Geniuses had in comparison to OpTic Gaming. That could only bode well for them moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if there's a time to play against OpTic, it is the first match of the tournament, without doubt. I mean, we saw even at Worlds, Supremacy taking, I believe it was Eden Strongholds off of OpTic. So Supremacy, clearly a top squad in the world. But at the same time, if you had predicted that match ahead of time, you'd been like, that's going to be a swift 3-0 in OpTic's favor. So we could be seeing Evil Geniuses either catching OpTic off guard, or they're the real deal.
Well, here are some of the replays from that last game. As we saw, this was the spree. I think that Royal 2 found himself on right at the start of that game where he was alive for about 2 minutes or so. But all during that time, I mean, that was a perfect example of what we missed from Roy. Seeing those perfect 5 shots, and it just seemed every time that Evil Geniuses found themselves in a position where one of those back against the walls position, they managed to make something happen. And this is that contest at the last second, that huge double kill from Lunchbox. And that clutch factor that he brings to any squad, I'm liking the look of this EG squad.
Yeah, I have no question with like Roy and Lunchbox. You know you're gonna get those consistent players. Nated, sometimes has the best of the tournaments and some subpar tournaments based on his level of play. Valcade is also another kind of question mark for me. I feel like Roy, Lunchbox, and Nated are very good decision makers. They're gonna know when to push for the objective, when to back off, and how to work their squad. Valcade, for me, is kind of this young gun on the team, so maybe it could be that firepower they need, maybe that player that they can mold into the perfect team player to help bring Evil Geniuses back into that top 4 spot.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting lineup. If you are just joining us at home, OpTic Gaming find themselves 1-0 down in the series at this point. It's Evil Geniuses who took that first one. The second game is going to be Eden Slayer, so a much slower paced game type. We have talked about some of the changes to this game type from the last time we saw it. Obviously, those rockets being taken out. We see that overshield now, Dave. How do you think that's going to affect this game type?
I feel like it makes it less snowbally, because there's plenty of times, too, where it just felt like a team would usually end up with both power weapons somehow, because they're on separate timers, a 3-minute timer versus 2-minute timer. And it felt like a lot of times team would get sniper, step outside, use that to acquire rockets, then they have both weapons, and it definitely can get out of hand. I feel like Team Slayer can actually be one of the most snowballing game types out there prior. So we'll have to see how it plays here with the 2 of the best teams in the world kicking it off with Royal 2 once again, who's grabbing time and heading outside.
Outside looks like the overshield has been picked up by OpTic as well. It's Lethal who's going to have that. Here towards blue as Royal 2 is looking over his shoulder. Around, and that's Dave who picks up the kill on Snake White. You see 2-1 at the start of this one. Overshield went into that already.
Yeah, I mean, I expected the game to be slower, but I didn't expect the sniper to be staying up there 38 seconds after the start of the game, especially with these power weapon hungry players in the game. That was 3 members falling down, 2 from Evil Geniuses, 1 from OpTic. We're going to see if that's going to be the opportunity for them to grab Sniper, and I believe that is Sniper in the hands of Snakebite.
It is Snakebite indeed, who has it in his hands. He's going to look to try and pick up the
target in blue yard.
Quite any players from Evil Geniuses who are going to be
All right, I'm getting a little message here that we are going to fix up Onset's audio. So I am going to try to solo cast this. For those that have watched my stream in the past, I mean, I can do this the best I can, but I am no gold boy. So back on board with Snakebite, who has snipers over at Red Bend. One thing that Onset had called before, if you didn't hear, was that this game is going to slow down. Eden Slayer, especially at the top level of play, is where teams are just going to capitalize on mistakes. It's not one of those game types where you can get a few slays and then charge and get the spawn kills nearly as easily. It's more of pinstream players in position. So if you do happen to see someone like OpTic in Snakebite here gain a few of those slays, they're going to try to pinch over towards blue closets and then force members of Field Geniuses to push out into the deck rather than actually moving in on the closet themselves. There is the collapse. We see Lethal taking down Falcated. Snakebite taking down Roy. That's 2 members down, and OpTic Gaming are in the perfect position for this new overshield. Almost certain to get it. I want to see if Evil Geniuses are even going to contest it, though, because that's always a tough decision when you're in that position for EG, is do you contest it, do you possibly give up more deaths, or do you even want to give up free power weapons? So we see Snakebite taking down Roy, Lethal taking down Falcated, and keeping more control. So that was a very interesting situation for PG. I was surprised to see them contest it because with only a few seconds up for that power-up, a lot of times you just got to assume players OpTic. You're going to have 2 or 3 members there, and you're just going to give up a free death.
Well, hopefully, I'm back in the game now. Hopefully, you can hear me at home. If you can't, I apologize. Hopefully, I'm entertaining you in your house right now on Twitch. But Snakebite, as you say, has still got that sniper rifle. OpTic do have a 6-kill lead at this point. Looks like it's going to be a 7-kill lead as Royal 2 using that Hydra effectively once again. Lunchbox going to answer back with one of his own, but it looks like the rotations and the ability of OpTic to keep this sniper out of the hands of the guys from Evil Geniuses really has set them apart at this point.
Yeah, one thing that's going to play in OpTic's favor is they get to dictate the pace of this game. One thing that's OpTic's really done well in Halo 5 in general is just deciding, all right, we have a pick, now let's make it fast, let's push it. Oh, we have a couple members down, take it slow. Now they don't have the pressure of an objective against them. And that's going to be oddly enough, those are going to be a lot of the games that OpTic are going to lose. Either a fast-paced Team Slayer, where people are going to run and gun and pick up OpTic before they can get set up, or a fast-paced objective.
Interestingly enough, Royal 2 has also found himself a sniper rifle, so 2 sniper rifles are now in the hands of OpTic Gaming. They're going to be able to lock down some of these long sight lines across the map on Eden. Snakebite rotating here as Native picks up a kill. Looks like another player is going to be pushed, it's going to be Falcated. It's going to be cleaned up by Snakebite, so that kill traded out. A 7-kill lead, but a push is coming in here from Evil Geniuses as Roy manages to push and take one of those sniper rifles at least out of the hands of OpTic. So a chance here for EG to potentially pick up a few kills. Roy takes down Lethal with a couple of shots there, and it's just a 6-kill margin at this point.
Yeah, and that's how many bullets Roy has, so he can single-handedly bring his team back in this game. But most importantly, this overshield is going to come up any moment. I believe that came up, and look at Roy. You know he is not too happy about that situation, having to back down from that OS, but wisely doing so. He realized he wasn't going to get it. You know, he could have tried to jump out and hit some miraculous no-scope, but Roy, obviously being a smart player, kind of doing the risk versus reward assessment, was, all right, odds are not in his favor that he's going to hit that no-scope, somehow stay alive, and get that overshield, back it down, gain a pick on Lethal, and then holding down Red Base.
Roy is just saying, come at me, bro, at the moment to OpTic Gaming. Every player he's challenging, but Royal 2 says he'll have a piece of Roy, and he manages to shut him down. But in that little process, Evil Geniuses did manage to claw their way back even further into this game. Just 4 kills. Now the difference between these 2 teams, and coming up to a mark now where, you know, they can get a few more kills on the board. It's all about EG keeping control. Nated has control of a sniper rifle. It looks like they have some power weapons to work with. The player going to be Tristan Tower here, but the Hydra from Royal 2 coming in again. That man seems to have had that Hydra in his hands quite a lot, Dave.
Yeah, that was a weapon that's been staying around, and I don't think we've ever seen it really overly used or abused, but it seems like Royal 2 just making great work of that weapon. Even though we don't have full radar in the situation, Roy was absolutely sniffed out in that situation. He was over in blue closet. So trying to sneak around radar, but these players have great headphones and are going to know where the bullets are coming from.
I just wanted to point out there just for a moment, I believe Royal 2 is 9-1 in this game at the moment. So a strong start from Royal 2. Obviously, it's what we expect in these Slayer games from a player like that man. Frosty picking up another kill here for OpTic, but it's going to be traded out by Roy. Sniper Rifle is coming up in the next 10 seconds or so. And we have seen that Sniper Rifle change the game a little bit. Whoever's managed to have control of it seems to be able to go on a little bit of a run. But Royal 2 being disruptive here to the Evil Geniuses team, just being a nuisance around this red base, and here he comes again, taking down Falcated, and that is a great use of this, well, I say a use of the radar, not using the radar, because the radar's not in at the moment, Dave.
Yes, it is not. It is not. We have that enhanced radar where players moving around just with normal movements or shooting. Or, sorry, normal movements, you're not going to show up. Whereas if you're shooting, you're using a thrust, sprint, all those Spartan abilities, you will show up on radar. Looks like Frosty's going to slip away with this sniper, and that is an 8-kill lead, which should get a little further unless we see EG somehow collapsing over red. That's all 4 down. They had the sniper, but they were not set up. Great push by Evil Geniuses.
I am so confused as to what I just saw from OpTic Gaming. 3 players from OpTic just looking at each other. And basically, Lunchbox said, you know, I'll just throw a grenade at your feet and I'll clean all those kills up as Roy came in, his twin brother, to finish off the 3rd. Fantastic stuff, but somehow, OpTic Gaming have managed to go from 4 dead to once again picking up 2 kills on Evil Geniuses. What's happening here,
It's
Dave?
quite odd. It feels like anytime these players are getting 3 or 4 down, they should be in the best possible positions to be able to set up and look for these spawn slays. Maybe they're just trying to take up a bit too much ground early on and get a little greedy. I mean, Halo's a game of greed. You want to take up as much real estate as you can, take any power weapon, make the players fight off their spawns, get positioned. It just feels like a couple of these players, maybe right off the spawn, are getting some nice flanks and getting in position to catch off like EG or catch OpTic off guard, because, like you said, they play times where they have 3 or 4 down, yet they still fall after that situation.
Well, Frosty picks up a nice double kill there, taking down Roy. Lethal is who we're going to be on board with right now, but Snakebite has found himself a sniper rifle as well, trying to keep his teammate alive, and that was Lethal. No shields, just jumping around there. Snakebite, team captain, managing to keep him alive, and then straight away after that, taking off Naded's head with that sniper rifle. Just 5 kills away, a 10-kill lead. OpTic Gaming looking pretty good to potentially tie this series up, Dave.
Yeah, even though it seems like they had a few mistakes or got pincered by some great EG pushes, they still are heavily in the lead. I mean, a 10-kill lead is really tough to come back from here on Heater, especially this late in the game, because there's so many times where players just hide around the corners and then at least get trades. That is Naded getting a huge double kill and the overshield. So now he has overshield sniper. This could bode well for EG, and Naded is not missing today.
Naded has decided that he's not going to give this game away. He wants a 2-0 lead in this series. Hitting those no-scopes there to take down that player. Has the overshield, has bullets to work with as well in this sniper rifle, but 3 players from OpTic are going to be pushing him aggressively in that blue base. But you have to say, OpTic do seem to be trapped in blue at the moment. Lunchbox picks up a double kill. We're giving the game away, Dave. Evil Geniuses are making a little bit of a run towards the end of this game. Naded rotating away with sniper rifle. Does spot a player there, goes for the barrel shot. Does not connect with that one, but the new sniper rifle is coming up, and it looks like Naded is more than aware of that, scoping in on this blue base, hoping any of these OpTic players jump out as he takes down Lethal, and that is going to be just a 4-kill game. OpTic Gaming just need 2 kills to close this one out, but Evil Geniuses, they're in control.
Yeah, a game that I thought was far from over looks like, or that I thought was over. EG are somehow bringing this one back. Now, the key to EG winning this game right now is just slowing it down immensely. Not only do they need to get that sniper ammo, which was just grabbed by a player of OpTic Gaming, but more importantly, they need to stall out this game to get this overshield. If they have the overshield, they can use that player as a buffer to charge and then charge in towards security or charge in towards blue or red base. But it looks like OpTic are popping out across the map, somehow getting pick after pick before overshield's even up.
Well, it's just a 1-kill game, and there was a one-shot player as well who managed to just about escape. Naded working around the red base at the moment. Just a 1-kill game. Lethal picks up a huge kill with that grenade. Naded desperately trying to stay alive, but it's going to be Snakebite who closes that one out for OpTic Gaming. A fantastic comeback there towards the end of that game from Evil Geniuses, but OpTic just keeping calm, keeping composed, managed to tie up the series 1-1.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic of OpTic. Generally, we see them get some massive lead, like 10 or 12 kills, and they know how to play to that lead, just saying, all right, they can wait around corners, get a few easy slays, make them trade. You know, even if they give up a couple deaths, they're able to trade and get that 1 kill or 2 kills to close out the game. But it felt like they were kind of charging out in the open, giving Naded some easy sniper shots to get picked off there.
Well, we are looking at the stats at the moment. Frosty, 15 kills, but 17 deaths. So he was obviously in the thick of the action there.
Yeah, he had a lot of action.
A lot of engagements.
A lot of action.
Then we look at Royal 2, 13 and 5, a big Slayer performance from him. Snakebite even, Lethal -3. So Royal 2 really putting up the stats there for this OpTic Gaming squad.
Yeah, and especially off that start. I think you called it early on where Royal 2 had a 9-1 start. So
not a bad start.
Just kind of holding on to those stats the rest of the game.
And on the other side, not too many things to shout about for Evil Geniuses, but again, a very close game as far as these two teams are concerned. So we saw the first game 100-96, I believe it. I believe the game ended up as that one, just a 2-kill game. And I mean, Dave, predictions. Game 3? What a flip a
is
coin.
Playing so well that last game especially. I mean, even though he was +4, which isn't significant, like positive minus, KD ratio. The more important part was some of the plays he was pulling off, like the time at the very end where he killed the 2 members of OpTic, got control of Sniper and Overshield, and then just after that was hitting a couple snapshots, getting players to no shield. So that was the whole spur for them to try to make that comeback, close off that 10-kill gap, and I think mainly because of Nated.
Well, we're going to have a look at the series layout if we can at the moment so that people at home can see what we've got coming up. But I want to talk a little bit more about that last game. And what do you think what the difference was between the two teams sort of in the middle part of that game where OpTic did manage to create that 10-kill lead? Was it just their control of power weapons? Or do you think that Evil Geniuses maybe were just making mistakes?
Yeah, I think clearly a lot of controlled power weapons. I mean, you looked at it early on where that 10-minute overshield was coming up, and we saw all 4 members of OpTic already set up around there. And it's one of the toughest things to ever condition yourself to do is to give up that power-up. Even a veteran player like Roy thought he could try to challenge it. His whole goal in that situation was to try to get a burn on it, like see if he could get a 5-shot on a player, somehow sprint in. But it's always too good to be true. It's always like, all right, I made it all the way over here. They're not going to expect me to jump up from the pit. And, of course, they have 2 players watching that one direction as soon as you start to do some damage to the player about to pick up the power-up.
Well, let's talk about this game 3 then. It's going to be Truth, Capture the Flag. All of these players well-versed in this game type. I think everyone who's been following Halo, pretty much for all time's sake, knows exactly how this game time works. First to 3 flag captures. Take the flag back to your base to get those caps. The game is going to get underway. I did mention predictions. I mean, we're tied up at 1-1 in the series. How's this one going to go?
Well, one thing I've noticed as games go longer and longer, especially OBJ games like a flag game against a squad like OpTic, is it seems like OpTic always keeps their composure and prioritizes slays first. You never see OpTic just like randomly sprint to the opponent's base trying to get some sort of flag pull or desperation cap. They rely on their slaying. They're very confident in their slaying power, and that shows with Snakebite getting a double kill off the bat, Frosty getting that 3rd one. There's only 1 member of EG alive. So as I talked about before, OpTic Gaming are going to prioritize slaying. They're going to get slay after slay and slowly but surely get that flag across the map when the time is right.
And the pull is already coming in. The last 2 players alive are trying to overextend from EG here. Felkate does manage to take down Royal 2. Not sure if that flag is being moved anymore across the map. Frosty doing so well to stay alive here. Finally going to be taken down. Lethal tries to get that flag in, but a pull has come from Evil Geniuses here. They've managed to get that flag car 1. Not sure if anyone from OpTic Gaming is in position to get that return. It was Royal 2 who was desperately going for it. The return, oh no, it's not going to come in as a touch does come in from that EG player, but Lethal, fantastic rotations, looking for this 1-1 Nated. Can he find it? No, he cannot, as Falcated comes in to help out Nated and get that flag return, and there we go. OpTic Gaming managed to put the first one on the board. Evil Geniuses didn't manage to scrap that one away.
Yeah, regardless, able to get that flag cap, but as I look at the slays on the Prowler right now, 11 kills for OpTic Gaming, only 5 kills for Evil Geniuses. So it was a wise counterpull in that situation, but at some point when you get outslayed 2-1, there's very little you can do. You have to get a reasonable amount of slays if you want to somehow still win this OBJ game.
Well, here's Royal 2, and he's putting some shots down on this player on the pink street. He's going to be jumping up to P3 to desperately stay alive. 2 players going to be top car, so at the moment, Royal 2's job is to just lay down as many shots as he can across map, which is exactly what he's doing, allowing his teammates to work around him and finish the kills, and that's exactly what OpTic Gaming are doing. That was a 3 dead there for Evil Geniuses, and look at this. Lethal going bottom mid and picking up that tac mag, which can be so effective on these new settings.
Yeah, especially if he's going to hide around the bottom parts of EG's base. He can lay down a few shots into the player's backs, and they can't pinpoint exactly where he is. They're going to know he's under the base, but it's such an advantage just knowing, all right, is he at the front of under our base? Is he closer towards the pink side? It helps to know when you're trying to pinch that player and finish him off at your base.
And for those of you at home who might not be aware of what difference the tac mag has to the normal Magnum that we see with the starting weapon, you have a 2x zoom. Also, when you shoot, you do not pop up on that radar due to the silencer. Snakebite picking up kills in the base. It looks like Lunchbox is going to be able to shut him down, though. So that looks like potentially a dead flag as 3 dead. That's going to be 4 dead momentarily for the guys on OpTic Gaming. This is a chance for Falcated and the boys to push across map here and put some pressure on that OpTic Gaming base.
Now, one thing I'm concerned about is we saw Falcated and Roy kind of pushing down under the OpTic Gaming base. Yeah, it's good to get some pressure under the base. It's exactly what you need to do. You need to push some players towards there, but when you have everyone on the bottom of the map, look at Tool's X and Falcated. I believe that's Roy under the base, and then this is the 3rd player. Sorry, it wasn't Roy clearly before, but we now have 3 players that push under OpTic space rather than getting the height advantage, going towards top car bubble, top middle, or top pink. It's like I said, you need to divide a little bit. You need to have maybe 1 flanker under, but you can't be having 2 or 3 people on the bottom of the map.
Well, that's going to be 3 dead here for OpTic Gaming. It could potentially be 4 dead if Nady can clean this one up. He is going to be able to. Player does come off respawn to take down Nady. The flag is being run across map here by Evil Geniuses. I believe they've managed to get it back to their side of the base. Roy is desperately trying to stay alive. Not sure if they have managed to get that flag any further. Another touch is going to come in here from EG. They are rallying this one back as we see Roy putting pressure on these OpTic Gaming base. It looks like OpTic are going to give this one up, and it's going to be EG who tie up this game 1-1.
One thing that Roy could tell right there is he knew that the flag was pretty safe. He must have heard from Coach Towie or been paying attention to the slays, so he didn't even look back towards his base. He just focused on the OpTic Gaming base in case a player made a mistake and spread out that he could get that easy 5 shot. In case he was actually set up for some sort of double cap in the situation that OpTic made a mistake, but you saw the experienced play of Snakebite. Snakebite just kind of sat back at his own bubble, made sure that no double cap was going to come in.
Well, I believe that was all dead there momentarily for Evil Geniuses. Naded trying to stop this flag pull, but he has managed to take the player down who was running it. That was Frosty trying to get that quick flag pull. Player is going to be crouching down on P1 at the moment, just using that pillar there to create as much cover for himself as possible. Flag return does come in, but here comes the flank from that OpTic Gaming player. I believe it was Lethal who was trying to get that flag pull. Frosty going to pick up another pull here, and it looks like Snakebite has managed to get the camo. If he can pick up this kill on Lunchbox, he could potentially go for this touch, but it looks like Snakebite going to go for map control instead of that flag touch.
So patient, just waiting for a player to poke out enough that he can get the 5 shot. Some players might be curious, or viewers at home might be curious as to why he didn't just start shooting right away at that player over at pink side blue, and he wanted to have the player expose himself enough that they were not going to be able to escape and get back to their own base.
Incredible plays here from Snakebite. The patience from this man. He's looking for a triple kill. Still has that camo, but Falcated's going to take him down. Shut down the flag run momentarily, so it looks like we're going to have a flag standoff where both flags are away from the base. Obviously, you have to return your own flag before you can cap that flag. Royal 2 trying desperately to put some shots down in here as the guys from Evil Geniuses are trying to get a touch on that flag. They do manage to get a touch on that flag momentarily. Snakebite going to clean up the kill. Lethal picking up another one. Another player flying under the base here as Falcade getting another touch on that flag, but it looks like this could be a return here as that player is going to be forced to the top of the base, and OpTic Gaming do get the flag return. Do they get the cap? Of course they do. They're OpTic Gaming, and they're too efficient to not get that cap.
Yeah, and look at how they prioritize that slaying, though. At no point in time do you see them panicking, trying just to sprint towards that flag recovery. They realize that if they get the slays, the flag return will come along with it. So at no point in time did they say, all right, I have to dash for this. I need to jump on that flag return as soon as possible. They let EG make the mistakes there, and they capitalize on those mistakes.
Frosty desperately trying to stay alive, does do so. Can he take down Falcated? He can take down that man in P2. Frosty with no shields, no problem whatsoever for him. Putting shots on this respawn in the bubble, and look at this. Immediately, objective efficiency. Please explain what that means to some of these people at home as that flag call comes in straight away from OpTic Gaming.
So as much as OpTic outslay their opposing team, they don't overdo it. As soon as they get 3 or so members down, 2 or 3 members down, they are already on top of that flag grab, moving it across the map. So even though they're going even in slays over these last 5 or 10 seconds, the flag's halfway across the map. I believe that is Frosty running back. He's got ground pounded in, but it was pulled by Falcated. So Royal 2 taking one out. Snakebite taking another player out. Nated is the only one really alive over the OpTic base. That is a 3-1 flag victory for Frosty and OpTic Gaming.
OpTic Gaming closing that one out. It was Royal 2 picking up that camouflage at the end as well. And I think I just saw a huge number from one of those OpTic Gaming players there
that was the end.
That was a huge, huge number. What was it? 21-9 from Snakebite.
Just Snakebite things. Yeah, you saw how he had those camos. You saw how he was just always prioritizing those slays. And it showed in the scoreboard, but also in their map control. Every single time he got an opportunity to get up top position, he pushed up there.
One other stat I love assists, right? Well, back when I played, I use that as my excuse all the time for going negative. But Royal 2, 9 kills, 9 deaths, 19 assists. 19 assists.
One of the best stats also to back that up is the damage amount. I mean, Royal 2 had 2,400 in damage. Even though he had less than half the amount of kills of Snakebite, he was only behind Snakebite in 300 damage. So, like you said, the assist and damage shows how much work that Royal 2 was doing that game.
On the other side, Evil Genius is not putting up the hugest stats. We saw Naded having a bit of a rough one in that one, 7 and 18 for him. But we have to talk about one thing I really want to highlight. I think the guys from OpTic Gaming separate themselves from the rest of the pack. We mentioned it in that game, is that objective efficiency, how quick they are to pull those flags as soon as they get any opportunity or any kills on the board.
Yeah, it's interesting watching how good of a job OpTic does pushing up towards the opponent's base. Because what happens in some cases, you see some top teams out there, when they get control of like Pink or Car, they'll get 3 or so down, and then they don't have someone already over at the base. But it just feels like OpTic, as soon as they get that first or second kill, every single member just slowly inches towards the opposing base, and they just get kill after kill. And before you know it, you have 3 down, but you already have 2 members over at level 2 of the base, ready to pull the flag.
It feels like if you're on EG, you're scrapping to get 1 player out, and by the time you do, you've got 3 more OpTic players just flying at you. We're moving on to the next game in the series, 2-1 OpTic Gaming. If you are just joining us at home, also let us know at home how you think this series is going to end up. Use that hashtag HCS and let us know your predictions for the tournament and also this series. But one man I think we need to talk a little bit more about. I think we kind of highlighted the 21 and 9. But one player I wanted you to maybe break down a little bit for some of the viewers at home, some of the players people watching who might be a bit newer to Halo, was that play where Snakebite was up on P3 with that camo, the flag was pulling. What goes through his mind? What made that such a good play for you?
All right, so 2 things made that a great play for me. One being he waited for that person to expose himself fully out of pink side blue in order to get that 5 shot and guarantee the kill. Secondly, he didn't just stay up pink 3. Sure, pink 3 is a great power position, but he realized that he was the furthest member up on his team, so he took up more ground. He got that kill and also pushed over towards blue needle or blue attic, so that anytime a member of EG pushed out, they had to not only worry about a player near pink, they had to worry about someone possibly under their base or at their attic. So it was one of those things where EG, anytime they're pushing out their base, they couldn't just focus on one side of the map. They had to determine as they're pushing out their base, do I turn around? Am I going to get shot in the back, or am I going to get shot from pink?
Snakebite showing why he is one of the best players in Halo 5. And, you know, you hear a lot of the pros say he is the best player in Halo 5. But moving on to game number 4 in this series, Dave, it's going to be Strongholds on Plaza. Obviously, we see some slight changes to this again with the new settings. How do you think this one's going to play out? Because for me, this is one of OpTic Gaming's strongest game types.
Yeah, OpTic are scary good at this, but at the same time, Plaza Strongholds is one of those game types that can get out of hand, because when you're put in a position when there's a trip cap going on, you have to just try to make a decision as a team, whether you go back toward Jard and cut and stop the bleeding, or do you kind of like roll the dice and try to push towards the center of the map and see if you can get full control again. And that's always one of the tough decisions to make, because it's kind of like this rock, paper, scissors game where if you predict the other team to go toward Jard, you just stack a bunch of players there, and then over and over you're able to trade kills and still keep that trip cap. Or if you think the other team's going to get greedy and try to push out towards the center of the map, you just have a couple people ready in like top gold ledge or snipe 3 that can pick off those easy kills. So that is one of the toughest situations in the game, is when that trip cap happens. How do you best handle that situation? How do you allocate players towards either the center of the map, or do you go toward Jard? Well, like I said, that's what these teams are going to have to decide when a trip cap comes out, because clearly the center of the map is the ideal spot to be and hold, but at the same time, trip caps will happen when you have 2 of the top teams in the world going head-to-head here on Plaza Strongholds.
Well, Lethal's going to pick up the first kill of the game. A contestant does come in momentarily. Snakebite doing such a good job of just staying alive from this player from EG. His teammates are going to swarm in, but nobody can finish off a kill at the moment. Finally, Snakebite takes down Lunchbox, and it's going to be early control, worryingly for EG. And that is a triple cap off the bat here for OpTic Gaming.
Yep, trip cap right off the bat, and look at what OpTic are doing. They decide that they're going to try to keep greedy and keep the strip cap. So every member of EG that comes up toward Jard right now are going to run in a 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 situation. So EG, look at, they're a step ahead of the game now. They're trying to go for Nest instead. So that's that rock, paper, scissors game that I'm talking about, where do you think the opposing team is going to try to stop the bleeding yard, or are they going to get greedy and try to go for nest and bomb center? So EG doing a great job breaking out of that trip cap situation, because now they're in a stronger situation.
Well, triple cap was momentarily in effect. OpTic Gaming are up 18-0 at the moment. Nady going to be taken down to no shields here by Royal 2. Player is coming off of the respawn here for EG. Going to be Lunchbox here, pushing him back into the yard. But 21-0. And one thing I want to point out that OpTic Gaming are so good at as well is their ability to decide if they want to push for that triple cap or not.
Yeah, I will switch over screen here. I'm not sure what's going on there for one moment, but we got Snakebite on your screen going towards bottom center. He is going to try to take back over this pit area, because one thing that was happening earlier is he did such a good job staying alive at Prius, but right there finally caught off guard by a grenade. Now, the whole reason that EG even has control of Sarah's map right now was because OpTic pressured Yard so hard. They could have easily held bottom center and nest for an extended period of time and let EG try to make a good push out there. But instead, they sent 2 or possibly even 3 players towards Yard, and EG called their bluff. EG took over the side of the map, and now they had control for a little bit.
30-8 is the score at the moment. 2 kills do go down in the favor of Evil Geniuses, though. We're going to go on board with Lethal. Going to be shot up here by the player. Well, I believe that was the camo player. Lunchbox momentarily had that camo, but going to be traded out. Looks like EG are making a play on this bottom mid stronghold. It is just a slither away, and they do manage to cap it. And not only that, they managed to get the triple cap momentarily. As we hop on board with Lethal here, who's rotating back, and as you say, making that decision to rotate back and try and stem this bleeding.
Yeah, ideally, Yard is the best situation you can go for, because it's such a safe base to get if you have positioning there. However, if the other team is already one step ahead of you at Yard, Yard is one of the worst spots you can go to, because you just go through this funnels. You go through either a funnel at the BR stairs or through flowers, and those are easily naded spots where you can't really push in together with a teammate unless you're both pretty much holding hands. And in that case, a nade trumps hand holding.
Well, 3 dead here going to be forced OpTic Gaming. A Snakebite is taken down. Looks like the triple cap has been held pretty effectively here by Evil Geniuses at this point, and they have managed to go into a lead. So one thing I do want to highlight, actually, is something that Lethal said, which is in an OpTic Gaming scrim recently, is, you know, everyone can get a trip cap. It's all about how well can you hold that trip cap.
And EG brought themselves back in this game because of holding that trip cap right there. Look at that. They're up by 12 points at the moment. Lethal trying to figure out how are they going to now break out of Yard, because they stopped the bleeding. They cover up that wound over in Yard, but now is the tough part. Now is taking over bottom center and nest. It looks like they got the Slaves to do it. Falls down over at Prius. Can Snakebite clean up that kill over in the dip? It looks like he got a good nade, but did not get any hit marker. So maybe it wasn't as good a nade as I expected.
And one thing I want to point out here is what Snakebite has actually done for his squad by creating that distraction bottom mid. If you look, OpTic Gaming managed to sneak over to snipe while Snakebite was engaging those 2 players. So fantastic work from Snakebite. Not always about picking up those kills, Dave. All about distracting the team and allowing your teammates to get into a position for a triple cap of your own. And how about have a camo as well for your work?
Yeah, for a lot of those spectators at home, you wonder, all right, these players are the best players in Halo. Do they have, like, play calling, like something in football where it's like, all right, on break, you know, we push all these different directions? And it's not quite like that. These top players instead are putting themselves in ideal positions that are going to buy opportunity time for their teammates. So they're going to be able to lay down shots across the map for a bit. They're going to be able to get a flank where they can distract the team or the opponents for 5 or 10 seconds. And during that time, the rest of their teammates are making their moves. So it's not like a clap of the hands and we're all charging, making this push. Instead, it's slowly but surely just giving this window or this time frame where your teammates can take advantage of the situation.
Snakebite here, putting shots down on that player S4 with his battle rifle in hand as well. OpTic Gaming have managed to sneak back into a lead at the moment. But EG, that's 3 dead, but Snakebite managed to trade 1 out. OpTic Gaming going to find themselves 4 dead here, and they do manage to get the bottom mid stronghold again. So a good push here from Evil Geniuses, managing to get control, and it looks like they're going for the triple cap as well. I like what I'm seeing from this EG squad. Not happy to sell for that double cap, but a smart decision here, Dave. I know that you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which member of EG it was right there that had pushed into Yard, but they wisely backed down. As soon as they started getting shot in the back, one of the worst things you can do is when you have control the map here on Plaza Strongholds is to just randomly charge into Yard and give up a death. Yeah, it's ideal if you can get that trip cap, But if you're giving up a free kill when you're in one of the most powerful positions on the map and forcing the opposing team just to push out in that situation, and you give up those numbers, you now make it a 3-on-4 instead of a 4-on-4. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make here on Plaza Stronghold. So that player wisely backed down, but I believe they were eventually picked off near light rifle. So in essence, it was the same thing as giving up a death.
Royal 2 doing so much damage at the moment with his battle rifle in hand. It looks like OpTic Gaming managed to get control of that bottom mid stronghold. Again, Royal 2 going to clean up that kill on Roy, and it looks like a triple cap in effect once again. These teams just seem to be trading out triple caps at the moment. Evil Geniuses do manage to stem that bleeding pretty quickly.
Yeah,
though.
they stopped that
Royal 2's
right
found
away.
itself
They
a
got
camo.
Yard. So EG are a team that's going to be on top of Yard immediately. Same with OpTic. They were also on top of Yard early on. But it's one of those things, like, if the team is positioned, if they got the slaves early enough and getting that missed melee, oh, that could have been a much better camo. But obviously we saw Royal 2 getting taken down pretty quickly there. So not ideal, but at the same time, getting at least the trade, getting at least that melee, doing some damage. Not ideal, though, for a player like Royal 2.
Well, Lethal's going to be coming under pressure here from the guys on Evil Geniuses. It looks like EG were making a push towards that nest, but OpTic have managed to slow that down and quell that push that's coming in. Lethal going to come on the flank there and clean up that kill on Falcated as well. Points lead here for OpTic Gaming. Two players going to be weak in the yard as well. Lethal should clean both of these up. Oh, it doesn't manage to quite get the second, but Royal 2 there to finish that one off. 92-72, and it looks like OpTic Gaming have just about managed to do enough to potentially keep EG away from these strongholds. Can they clean this kill up? That would be huge, but somehow naded at the last second there. Managed to get the nest, but it has been traded for that yard. So OpTic Gaming, they look like they're going to close this one out. All they have to do is contest this bottom mid stronghold. Lethal's going to do exactly that, and I think that is going to be the series going into the hands of OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, OpTic Gaming closing that one out. They outslayed by 6 kills that game, but you just notice how many times where EG were quick to call OpTic's bluff as far as as soon as they started to lose yard, or as soon as OpTic would contest yard, EG were quick to go straight towards nest. It's such a good counter move because you can get a superior